I have a client. He has a property that's worth $900,000. He owes roughly $700,000. He wants to sell this house and buy a new house, and the new house is worth $710,000. We get this loan approved, so he wants to borrow. So what are we going to get out of this?
200.
Give me more information. 200 minus?
Agents costs.
Yeah.
Agent
What are average agents' costs?
1.5 to 2.
Yep. So what does that make it? What's he going to get out of this?
185.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
How much does he need to borrow here?
660.
Yep. What's 80% of 710?
568.
What does he need to borrow?
60.
568.
So he needs this plus
6%.
Yeah.
6%. What's 6% of 710?
It is about 750 roughly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he needs 750. He's got how much? 185.
Yeah.
So he needs 565, and 80% was 568.
Yeah.
What an easy loan is this?
Yeah.
Isn't that easy?
Yeah.
So we've got this approved. We've got this approved subject to the sale of this. This settles. So this is all happening in January of this year. This is true. This is a true story that actually happened. He's going to sell this property,
Yeah.
and he's bought this property. This is all happening in January, and this settles in June.
Okay.
Guess what happens next?
Are you telling me that he's bought that?
He's bought this,
And it's
unconditionally
fallen over?
bought it.
Has that fallen over?
He hasn't sold it.
Can't sell it.
Okay.
Can't sell it. Can't sell it. We've got two valuations on this property. He wants to sell it for $900,000. They valued it at $875,000.
So has he taken a bridging loan?
Can he take a bridging loan? Let me tell you a little bit about bridging. With bridging, you want to be borrowing less than 70% of the property value, or it doesn't work. It certainly doesn't work at 80, and it absolutely is so hard to get if you haven't sold property one that it's ridiculous. So we haven't sold. Meanwhile, of this 700, he had money. So this was his loan balance at the time, but it was his loan balance because he had 50 in redraw.
Okay.
So his actual balance was 750. He took out 35 or 36 or whatever for the deposit here, and that's what he did. So now I've got an unsold property, and it's May, and he's settling on this in June, and he hasn't sold.
His LVR's changed.
His LVR's changed because his balance has changed. What am I going to do now? How much money do I need to settle on this? Because I've only got a loan approved for 568, and APRA's just changed the rules, and this lender won't lend more than 80%, and this lender won't lend more than 80% on investment properties. I had to. So that was the maximum I could borrow, but I've changed lenders. So how much do I need to borrow here? I've got 752.
Yeah.
750.
Yeah, 716
Yeah,
minus the deposit.
Yeah.
716. Plus I need the 750 here. So what's my total LVR here? What's my LVR here? And remember, it's 875, not 900.
85.71.
That's still nice. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's my LVR here? 710. It's 100 and what?
6. Wow.
110 maybe.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now what am I going to do? If I cross-collateralise it, their mortgage insurance is going to be $70,000. What's the best thing I can do?
Maximise the
Maximise the LVR here.
97.
Yeah.
Who'll lend 97 on a refinance? So I got 90 on this, and I got 95 on this, plus cap. Plus cap.
Yeah.
So I had enough.
Just
Scraped in.
But you
And
know,
and not only that, he had 15 sitting here, apparently, but he didn't because he'd spent it. So,
He had 15.
yeah, because he'd only used 35 to, yeah.
So he's not your ideal customer.
I love him. I love him like a brother. I feel like we were in Vietnam together. I really do. I feel like I'll never know anyone better. He refers me a client a week, I would say. I do all his business, all his family's business, all his friends. I've got a little section of business in Queensland that I look after because he's got one of his offices in Queensland. He is an absolute raving fan. If he'd have been at a bank,
I was about to say.
I would have-
what would have happened?